Welcome, guys. Welcome. This is episode 16 of this year's ChatTactic. So welcome along. We're going to be not really following any great plan other than pretty much just going through. I think Manor Lords will go through. Sorry, my backup is just backed up. Does it every Monday for me. It's I know it's Sunday for most of you, but it's Monday morning and it does back up at 3 a.m. for me, and it's just turned 3 a.m. So that's going to be a regular occurrence, I think, from while we're doing it on the Sundays. Okay, so Mike's saying, did I see a reference to Field of Glory Kingdoms? Keen to hear more. Well, I can show more, actually. This is actually, I've just been given the approval to be able to show off the game, but I've got to show it in a limited version. So there's the actual, and I do want to explain that because when you first, I think that when you see content coming up, unless it's actually explicitly said that this is a smallish version of the final game, you'll then think it's very limited in its scope, but it's actually, it really is quite broad. Hi CB and Michael and Williams, and saying, hey folks, I've watched a ChatTactic finally. Well, I hope it lives up to it. Hi Banksy, Hugh David. Mike's saying, glad you'd show Sunday. Yeah, look, I want this to be the regular time for when I do it. It does mean I have to rush along a little bit, which is not a bad thing actually, but I've got to do it within 2 hours. So in 2 hours' time, I've got to leave and go to the beach and have a swim. So today's one of my swimming days. So it's sort of one of those things where the reason I had originally done it on tomorrow, like essentially on the Monday for everyone, was because that's a day that I don't go to the beach, and so it was a day where if I ran over time, it didn't really matter. But I think it works better for everyone if I do it, including me actually, to do it on the like my Monday, your Sunday. Hi Battle Mode, how are you going? Don't know whether to start with things like Manor Lord, or maybe just going through the bits and pieces, and then we come back into and sort of spend some time, as much time as we have left, with Field of Glory Kingdoms. I know that we'll probably end up getting sidetracked, so we probably won't spend as much time with Field of Glory Kingdoms. And I do want to show what that actually has got. So maybe we'll go and just have a bit of a look at it from the Steam perspective. So Field of Glory Kingdoms, there it is there. I don't know if it's going to have the date. Yeah, there we go, June 2024. So it's still a little way off before it actually does come through. And there is actually sort of like some video content that's actually in there at this point in time. I don't know why they do it this way. Like, this doesn't really present the game the way the game is played. It's nice graphics, but I don't think it actually helps with anything. Bob Rupert saying, I voted for today, as sometimes Monday has conflicts. Yeah, look, everyone seemed to like that one. Hugh David saying, what do you think of the new DLC for Solemn Infernum? Actually, I didn't even know about it. Okay, well, that's the sort of stuff we need to get diverted off to straight away. Solemn Infernum, is it just been announced? Oh, there we go, Belphegor. I haven't... Take the Throne. When do we get the... when does this one come through? Oh, it's already out. Wow, I didn't even realise. So I didn't even know about that one. There we are. I have been sort of out of the loop a little bit over the last few weeks, actually. Probably over the last month and a half, to be honest. I will be doing a video on why I have been out of the loop and what that's going to mean moving forward. It shouldn't impact the chat tactics at all, but it will impact particularly the Twitch streams. I'll definitely still be doing the Twitch streams, but probably only about half as many of those. Anyway, yeah, that's okay. Well, I didn't even know that was there. It may be in my emails. Really don't know. So anyway, that's interesting. We'll have to. It's the fact that it's there. I don't know anything at all about that one. So thanks for bringing that to my attention. Yep. So Benjamin's saying Sunday is good for me. I can't often make Mondays because of work. Yeah. No, it's. I think it works for nearly everyone. So that's all fine. Well, Solemn Infernum, I didn't even realise. God, that's. I'm gonna have to jot that one down. I will also be in a few days' time. God, how long will it be? It'll be a few days' time actually. That I'll then be doing probably about 3 days' time, I'll be doing the second version of my Galactic Civilizations 4 playthrough with the Warlords. I'll just put in Solium. I had no idea that would actually come through, so I'll jot that one through. It's probably I'll check my emails. I often do. Over the years, I have actually missed a lot of things that come through the emails, and I just don't notice them, and then they sort of disappear. and then I go to start to chase up a developer and think, hang on, why didn't you keep me informed about it? But then I'll then go and search my emails first, and sure enough, there'll be a key sitting there or something like that. So anyway, that's just the way it works. Right, Field of Glory Kingdoms. Okay, so this is just quickly going through. I did want to just make sure that it did say that it was releasing in June, which it actually is. It is a massive strategy game, and as I say, this doesn't really present what the game is about. I think we'll just open it up, and I'll just show you what we've got at the moment and what there will be. You can see down through here the game in numbers. I like it when they do this actually for this sort of game because there's an awful lot in it. And so you've got 375 factions, 325 different types of units, 600 buildings, 14 religious heresies, 19 cultural traits, which are all new, authority and disorder. So it uses a different concept. It uses the authority concept. And this is pretty cool because, actually I'll go into it and I'll show you. Should we just have a quick look? Let's just have a skim through and just see if there's anything that we need to. Yeah, no, that's okay. I can sort of I can just show you what's what. So I've put it up here now that I'm allowed to show the game. I've been on the beta for a long time, and I haven't played it that much, to be honest, because I've just been going in testing one thing in particular and then actually bouncing back out of it. Now I've got to say, this music is going to drive you nuts. So let's just quickly, can we get rid of it completely? No, we can't. It's just going to be there. Oh, well, that's a shame. There's only one tune at the moment, so hopefully that will actually sort of then work. Now you've got different things in through here. Again, you'll sort of notice that there's a lot of stuff that you can actually then have set in the actual game as well, which I haven't seen this before, to be honest. So I've been playing the game, but I haven't really been having a look to see what has been coming through in here, for example. So no Norman invasion, so Normans won't receive scripted reinforcements around the 1060s. So it's talking about the 1060s, and I wanted to mention this because the game that we have is not from this era, like the one that we actually get to play right now, the one that I'm allowed to show. So if I go to the scenarios, you can see that we've got a tutorial, which is actually a very, very good tutorial. I just did it an hour and a bit ago, I guess, just to see what it was like. Wanted to see how simple it was to follow, and it does present the basics of the game, but not really the nuance of the game as such. The El Cid scenario is just a very small scenario, and so this one here is a quick 20-turn scenario limited to the Iberian Peninsula, suitable for 1 to 3 players. It is a multiplayer type game as well. Because it's saying I like Sundays as well. That's good. Hi ZXM, how you going? So in this case, like the El Cid one is just a very, very small scenario, and then we have the Fall of the Angevins, which is also just a 58-turn scenario. There is a grand campaign, and I hope that they add more scenarios as well, to be honest. I do like the smaller scenarios, but there is actually a monstrously large one that takes in all of Europe, and well, pretty much all of Europe, and across into the Middle East as well, and North Africa. So there's actually something much, much bigger than what the game actually does sort of show. So Battle Mode saying too complex for a comprehensive tutorial. Going to need a good manual for Empires, like Empires had. Yeah, I'm sure that the manual will be there, but the tutorial is actually very good. I'm almost tempted to do it right now and show you, because it does present the information. I can skim past things. I might even do it actually. It is a massive tutorial just because it's so big, rather than read a manual and learn myself. But this is there is some good stuff in the tutorial. It does allow you agency to move around and do other things as well. Maybe I'll show that. The Fall of the Angevins is the biggest of the ones that are currently that I'm allowed to show. So I'm in a special version. As I say, there is a grand campaign as well, which starts off in the, I think it starts off in the 1050, so before the Norman invasion, and like of England, and then sort of works its way from there. So it's sort of like, it's an interesting part of history. I forget, like in England in particular, it was it Edward the Confessor? I think it may start with Edward the Confessor. There's a lot of stuff going on in England in particular. The fall of the Angevins. What I've been doing to test the game, and I might as well just show you this. I'll just go and start the game up. And my testing has been limited pretty much just to Scotland, because Scotland is one of these sort of medium-sized locations. So all the, like in the previous months, whenever I've been testing the game, I've been testing it as Scotland. In this case, we only have a very, very small portion of the overall map. So the and this is the biggest of the maps that we currently have available to be able to then sort of show off. But in the final map, most of Europe is sort of like it just extends way over with what is actually there, and it doesn't start in the 1194. It starts basically, as I said, in about 1054, I think, if I can remember correctly. But if I go into Scotland, what I've been doing is pretty much just testing the starts as Scotland, because Scotland is one of these ones that's a little bit hard to play, particularly in the early part of the game. Scotland is not one of the major factions in this particular scenario. This is probably not the best one to sort of show in terms of, like, the scenario is probably not the best one, choosing either France, England, or the Holy Roman Empire essentially is then going to sort of be the different ones we actually do have. But again, we can only really push our way into the actual main map of France. So it's pretty good much going to be just England versus France versus the Holy Roman Empire, I would guess. But what I've been doing is just going into Scotland and really just seeing what the start is like for Scotland, just randomly. And I've got to say, I'm really impressed with the way that the game does randomize stuff. So it's gonna have like the context for Scotland in through here, but it does sort of explain things in gameplay terms, which actually aren't in this version of the game, which is sort of funny. It says, to begin with, it's crucial to ensure that your treasury is not losing an excessive amount of money, as this can severely limit your options. Take stock of your regions and assess whether any buildings are worth the cost. Also, which is sort of still okay. Know that the kingdoms randomise the regions with different buildings, so your initial situation will vary, even for the same nation. So there's a lot of replay value, and this is actually really, really cool, except in these scenarios. These scenarios don't actually have that capacity. Between two tries on the same scenario. If not, consider dismantling them. If you're not under immediate threat and have exceeded your retinue allowance, units, blah, blah, blah. So it just goes through giving you a lot of little tips at the start, which is actually fairly cool. And so it just goes through the situation for the scenario back and through there. We'll just get rid of that one through there. One thing I've liked coming in with this is, again, just having a bit of a look. And I've just been checking, like, there's a shoemaker shop here all the time, which is sort of not what you'd expect. And so this will have like an open mine. There we go, surface iron. This one here has got a food storage. And I was just checking because in the actual grand campaign, these will all be randomized to a degree within the realm of possibilities, but it won't always have like a shoemaker shop, for example, sitting in that particular region. So that's sort of so the regions have got their own building, and the building tree is quite interesting as well. Maybe I will go through the tutorial. Do we do it that way? Maybe we go back and play the El Cid scenario. That might be the best way to do it. Let's just get back out. Sorry, I'm going to be all over the place here. Didn't really think this one through. I love the graphics. Like this has been sort of all done for the game, and of course this is the same. I think it's the same artist. It must be the same artist that was also doing a lot of the intro stuff for Field of Glory Medieval. So this is the so we've got the scenarios back and through there. We've got load. I like this as well. Like when you sort of hover over, there's just a slight change in the actual graphics. So he's pulling out a book, and this one here is just multiplayer back and through the other side. While he's one's riding the hare and one's riding the snail. It's pretty cool. El Cid back and through here. I'll just show it from the El Cid perspective. There's only a very, very small one. This will give you a bit more of a feel, I guess, as to what's happening with the scope. These old medieval type graphics are really, really cool. So you can see this is a very, very cut down scenario. And so we don't have a lot we can then sort of go and show. So we have and this one's interesting because you do actually have a lot of different factions you can play as. Now you do want to be playing as one of the major factions in this case. So you've got Leon, you've got Sevilla, back down through here, which should be, so this is actually a Muslim Sunni, Hispanian. Back in through there, we've got Badajoz back in through there, which is also going to be Sunni. We've got Almoravid, also Sunni back in through there. You've got El Cid himself. Now, El Cid is there. That's the El Cid army. I don't know how you play as El Cid, to be honest. I haven't tried playing this one. Passage rights through Leon, because this is all Leon back and through here. If we have a look at the actual what we have, Leon is really probably the main one to play. Now the tutorial is pretty much this scenario, and then sort of moving forward from here. But you start off with a whole lot of extras when you do play as the actual tutorial. But it's a nice compressed little area where pretty much you're just Leon trying to maybe Aragon. You could possibly play as Aragon. It would be difficult to play as Aragon, I think, simply because of the limited areas that you actually have like under your control. Yeah, so you've got Barcelona, which is going to be that's Catholic. Again, very, very small, very difficult to play as them. And then Zaragoza, which is another Sunni Muslim. So probably Leon is like to play this scenario would probably be the best one to actually then go and play. And so this one is the difficulty is 4 out of 5. It's saying that's interesting. I thought Aragon would have been higher. Saratoga, look, this one's almost impossible to play. These other ones are still all difficult as well, according to what the game is sort of saying. I haven't really had a good look at this one, to be honest. But and this one I also don't think randomizes. So I'm pretty sure, because I've been as I've been testing, I've been just trying to figure out, like playing as Scotland has in the Grand campaign has been interesting, because when you first come in, you can either do very, very well depending on the buildings that you have, or be very, very much under the pump. So you've got to really think through what buildings you actually have. Let's just play as. Do we play as one of the little ones just to get started? Maybe we'll play as one of the little ones we'll play as Aragon and we'll take on Zaragoza and just be done with it. Actually, we've got Barcelona back over there. Barcelona we could actually play with as well. They've got one extra location there. Yeah, let's go and play as this one here. So we'll just go and click on OK. So you can see there the gameplay is just telling us the same information about the buildings. Anyway, blah blah blah. Back and through there. So special rule: this scenario spans 36 turns. It said 20 at the start. Anyway, that's another little thing I should be. I won't take notes, but I tend to take notes. Did it say 20? Yeah, it did say 20, didn't it, at the very, very start? It can be decided as early as turn 18 if the top legacy players double the points of the second place player. Okay, so if this ratio is not met, the winner is determined by the highest legacy points at turn 36. So legacy points are a big part of the game, and there's also a thing called authority as well. So there's two different aspects that are sort of like high-level resources, essentially, that you have to try to manage, and that's how the game manages between very, very large empires and very small countries. It still all works very, very well. It's a genius idea that Agio had come up with in Field of Glory Empires, to sort of have that so that different sized empires could still actually compete in the same game. So Catson saying, what is this game? This is Field of Glory Kingdoms. So, but I'll just go through it in a bit of detail. So we've got specific regions offer bonus legacy points. So Corboda grants 50 bonus points and 5 per turn when conquered by a Catholic. That's too far away from me. Leon grants 50 bonus points and 5 per turn when taken by a Muslim. Valencia grants 50 bonus points and 10 per turn when conquered by El Cid. Actually, that could be fun to play as El Cid. I might do a YouTube little mini series as that, actually. Control of Toledo awards an additional 5 LP per term. So this is legacy points to whoever controls it. So Anyway, let's just click on. Let's just finish off this one here. We've got additionally when playing as at experienced EO or higher, which I'm not. I'm just playing as balanced at this stage. Different things receive different sorts of things in there as well. So the way that the game works is we've got pretty much the same sort of units that we see in the Field of Glory games. And anytime we do any sort of combat, we're going to then be able to take the combat out of here if we want to, and move it into the Field of Glory tabletop system. So we actually have that sort of choice. The scenario spans here, blah blah blah. That's the information we just sort of saw that through there. Again, I've got to say the user interface has been done much more cleanly than Empires. It's sort of funny if you've played Empires. I think you're going to like this game a lot. There's a lot involved in this game. It's not an easy game to get your head around, but it's more forgiving than Empires was when you actually sort of play it. So in this case, so if we go to the Barcelona army, it will then sort of show up with like essentially who's leading it. This is Rodrigo. Looks like he's got a hat from Burger King on his head. This is Conde Rodrigo, age 20, health very good, loyalty 100, of course, because he is the ruler. And so he's actually a fairly good ruler. Like he's got an offence and defence rating in through there. I think it's going to be hard for us to build up an army with these guys. So the army we've got limited sort of forces that we have available to us. And the armies, again, if we export them out, we can then play them in the tabletop, or we can just play the very, very simple but really quite good way of playing the game in through here. So early spearmen, which is a defensive unit. So heavy infantry, standing unit. It does actually have other things. Like for example, this is I don't know if we can see it there. I can't actually. I'm not sure how I get the information on that one. I thought I could actually bring that up. I'll press Control. There we go. There we go. So we can sort of see it's got like certain things like Charge Breaker. So Charge Breaker level 1, 3 times this level as a bonus against a charge roll. Active only in open, arid, and steppe terrains. So we've got that sort of stuff in through there. It's clumsy as well, so it's got an attack penalty of 2, defensive penalty of 2. This is only active when it's in forest, swampy, or mountainous terrain. So it's very important to know what the terrains are for your different units. This is our defensive spearmen. We then actually have raw spearmen as well. So we've got 2 of those in the next slot. And then we have irregular javelinmen. So we don't have a real lot to play with. Maybe it would have been better to go and play with one of the other... Whoops, that's a debugger. I just gave it an instruction to move into the ocean, which of course it can't do. So it opened up the debugger. I don't know why it did that one. Anyway, that's the maybe I will start as one of the bigger nations, just so we can sort of see how that one actually does work. Actually, I might actually show the tutorial, because that's got everything buffed up right up to be able to start doing combat straight away and stuff like that. So I think I might go back that way. I think that's probably the best way to show the game in a limited time. Where we exit the game. There we go. Just go back into it again. So Battle Mode saying Manor Lords is unfinished, but what is there is 10 out of 10. Yeah, Manor Lords is actually surprisingly good. I will talk about that after we have a look at Field of Glory. I do want to talk about that. I haven't actually done any video content on it, but I've been playing it and I really do like it. Does this Field of Glory have a turn limit? They all do. The Grand Campaign, though, has got hundreds of years, so there's a lot of time. Let's have a quick look through here. We've got the just go back to scenarios. I'll just play the tutorial. It does sort of, and I'll just skip past when it's going to just get me to click on different things, and I'll just try to explain what I'm clicking on as we do it. So in this case, we're going back into this essentially El Cid campaign, but set up for the tutorial. So you can sort of see in through here. Just go and click on OK. Click on that one through there. Welcome. Click on the horseman figure. So we just have to click on. Essentially, this is our main army. You can see this is much bigger. Whoops, hang on. This is much bigger than what we saw there before, with all sorts of different types of units. So it just wants us to click on this unit through here. We can sort of then, again, it's just telling you to have a look at the different sorts of units. Okay, click on it again on your own army. I'm just skipping past all this stuff. Please, do a right click on one of these. So that will then select the whole group. Then we just need to click. Do we have to? I think we just click on 2 of these guys, and then split them off. It's now just created like a garrison unit. We then go back to the main army, and right click on the region to the south where El Cid is. So I'm just going to move this army down now, the main army. So it's just going through in detail like the moving. I won't spend too much time with this until we actually get where we need to go. We then end the turn. So I'm really just rushing through the tutorial without reading it. So what this is actually the end of the turn has got authority and disorder ranking, and I will go through all this. It will sort of ask me to open up different screens, so I'll talk about these as we get there. But this is the legacy ranking, and so it doesn't matter what size empire you are. It all just comes down to your legacy points, how many legacy points you get, and you get different legacy points for all sorts of different things. And so in this case, we're only coming down sort of like about a third, 2/3 of the way down through the actual list itself. The realms and the tokens, like the progress tokens, you need 5 of these progress tokens to then be able to change your government or your the way that you operate. I will show you that as well because when we get there, because this is another one of these absolutely genius ways of actually controlling how you progress through the game. Which is, I haven't seen that in another game actually, the way that they do this one. Second turn, let's resume by clicking on the army. Okay, I just got to remember what to do each time. Hang on, I've clicked on him. Do we have to do that? Yeah, there we go. Click on a new character. I'll just click on a 2-1, so I'll just get Fernando in there. So I'm just changing over to get a better general. Like the other one was a 0-1. This is a 2-1, so he's going to do better in attack. So before returning to combat, it's time to check the provinces and regions. So this is actually where the game also really does sort of shine, where it just goes through different sorts of things. So if we click on the Toledo is down through here. So if we click on the Toledo region, it then goes through a summary initially, just so that it doesn't get overwhelming. This is the actual the domain or the actual, is it called the domain? What do they call it here? Provinces are handy, not only to get a summary of what's happening in several regions. Yeah, so each one of these is a region, and then this is a province. And so we've got the province back in through here is then displayed as a bit of a summary. Again, I'm not going to go through in detail. There's an awful lot of detail in the game. So you can delve really deeply into it, but this screen here is to allow the AI to help you to manage like larger regions. Click it again, and then you go into the individual region of Toledo. So we can see now that this has just been highlighted. We've got a lot of different characters down through there. We need to move some workers down into the infrastructure area. It's saying here, like, just reshuffle them. And the reason for this is just to show you how to move your pops around. And so the pops, there's 6 different areas that pops can go into. You've got like your agriculture, you've got your infrastructure, you've got your money, or your sort of like your trading type things. Back over through here, you've got your military. You've got your clergy, and then you've got your nobles, and these have to be a very particular type of pop. And so we've got noble pops, we've got clergy pops. Back over through here, we've, for example, got Jewish freemen. We've got some more Jewish freemen, and we've got a Muslim Sunni freeman in through there as well. If we grab those last 2 and just drag them down into here, that's going to then give us the 15 that was required. So we've now go to the next one through this other side. It's now saying that we need to be building another building. And so in each region, every single region, you can then go and actually build. Now, when you do this, you end up with a random set of buildings. Now, this is actually random than when I did it before. So this is still randomizing, which is nice. And so each building goes into one of these 6 slots. So you can sort of see down through here, the blue slots are for the nobles, and that would be a storyteller. The orange slots are for the clergy, and so we would then be able to then go and get a scribe, for example. And so there's often a cost, and often you'll see the missing bonus of 5 money. because we don't actually have access to parchment and vellum. So to get access to parchment, we can still build it, but it's going to then end up, we're not going to get as much money from this as we would have got it if we had have gotten parchment and vellum. So we'll talk about the trade network a little bit. I'll just sort of scratch the surface with that one. This one's an armor smith. You can see there the money situation here is estimated changes. That's a lot of money to be losing every turn. Our money situation is bad anyway. We've got negative 56. So I wouldn't be wanting to buy this one as an example. This one here will often make money, but it's only making 1. We're missing bonus of 5 money because we don't have access to dyes. And we need wool, so trading is required for the wool, which means it's going to cost us money to get the wool in. And it produces cloth, so we can actually produce cloth from this particular region. But we can already import cloth from Sinca and Corboda, so we can actually already import it in if we needed to. And it requires 6 population or more, which we certainly have. We've got enough population. So the buildings are quite interesting. There's a smokehouse. This one does cost money. It does promote health. Often the health and the infrastructure buildings will both be together in this sort of region. And then finally we just have the agriculture. And quite often just getting the agriculture. So we're missing a bonus of 1 food because we don't have access to flax. But let's just go and build that one anyway. So it's just going through what everything actually is. If none of the building options appeal to you, you can issue a regional edict instead. And this is where we end up using the authority that we end up having. So we get authority every turn based on certain aspects in the game. But if we first click on the currently under constructed area, we can then go down to the bottom here to pick the building of your choice at the cost of national authority. So it's going to cost me authority to do this. But if I go and do that one, I then actually have like a list of different sorts of buildings that then come up. And so I've got like now a much broader choice within each of the 6 different areas. So we can see there's a whole range of different sorts of things we can then just go and pick from, depending on what we want to then be doing. So this one, and this is different to empires. Like empires didn't allow you to do it to this degree, but this one allows you to essentially build what you want, but at the cost of your authority. And the game actually does explain that authority should be spent. You shouldn't be trying to accrue it. It is important to accrue it as well, but it slows down. The more you've got, the less you get. And so it is worth having a bit of a plan for your important provinces and not rely on what comes up through here. If you get it through here, that's great. But if you don't, then just open the stuff up. And like if we wanted to grab flax as an example, I can just go and put that one in there. But it's going to cost me a bit of authority over the next turn to bring that one through. Okay, then we've got trade. Trade is another big part of the game. It's a biggish part that you don't have to worry too much about once you get it set up. And so trade is back and through here. And you can see through here, it's then just going through and telling you what we actually have. So we've got, we actually have a lead vein, so we can actually then go and sort of, like this is a natural trade good that we actually have back in Toledo. And we should be able to see the trade networks of different goods, I think, going through. I think this is sort of showing what's going off into different areas. I won't do a deep dive into that, but this is actually something that has been simplified in a good way from empires. Empires, this was a nightmare to try to control, but in the new Kingdoms version, it's still there. It sort of does its own thing. You can delve in very, very deeply if you're wanting to actually try to make things sort of work. Because you can see there, if commodities are local or imported, you can see there that we're losing 2 gold, 2 money, because we have to import livestock, and because we've got a tannery. Like we've got a tannery that's here. So we've got the tannery back and through there. And so you can see there that it imports livestock and exports out like more finished type goods like hides. And so that's what's actually going out at this particular instance. And so so if we had a direct access to livestock, and direct access is anywhere in the surrounding areas, then that wouldn't be a problem. Like we would just be able to, like we would save a little bit of money. So that's sort of how the trade network works. It's really quite good, but it also has like a range. So if there is sheep, or livestock somewhere close by, it will then bring that in from somewhere else and then pay the money. If it's being brought in from within our own territory, the money we still pay a little bit, but we end up getting a little bit back in the other province as well. Missing trade goods, these are what we're missing completely. We saw there the parchment and vellum. That's what we were having in through here. This is, I should forget what else there was. I think it was the, what do they need? Yeah, that one here. The Muslim scholar that we actually have is is wanting parchment and vellum. And so this one's costing me 12 gold. You can see there when I hover over it, it's negative 12 to actually have this one. So it may be that we get rid of this one, but it does sort of give us other bonuses as well. And if we go and click on these, we can bring these up and just sort of see what's going on with these as well. So we can sort of have a look at a direct look at what's going on. Needs parchment and vellum missing. It's costing me 12 money. So is it worth? Legacy is increased by 2 by having this particular scholar sort of working in Toledo. But is it worth it? I don't know. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money unless we can get the that other trade good. So trade goods certainly do play a big role through here. And so you've got your main trade goods, but then you've also then got missing bonus trade goods. Now, bonus trade goods are not required trade goods. So even if you have a requirement, it will just pay money for those goods. I'll try to find, it should be one of these that will actually have like a bonus trade good. Master Blacksmith, maybe. That might be the one. So click on that one and just have a bit of a look. So so the Master Blacksmith is costing me a lot of money as well, and costing me metal. So it needs iron ore, and which is missing, and it costs 12 money and to actually supplement that. So it's costing me a lot to get that one. I thought there'd be bonuses. That's silver. There's the iron ore that we're missing. So these are direct expenses based on what's happening in this one little territory. So there's a lot going on in here. Okay, so if we have a look at Sunuka, I think it's this one here. Yep. Have a bit of a look at this one down through this other side. We can then sort of see that this one actually does produce cloth. So it manufactures cloth. So it's actually got like a spinning mill, and so it produces the cloth that is required back in Toledo. So the bonuses that we ended up having in the where is it actually? Then on the unit queue. Actually, sorry, yeah, it's now wants to sort of go back off. So close the spinning mill panel, yeah, blah blah blah. Once again, it's then we just go back in. So that's the trade network is complex, but not as complex as what it was in. Can you make the game full screen? I'll see if I can. Screen grab. There we are. Hey, it worked. Okay, we'll do it that way. Sorry, I should do that more often. Always sing out if that's the case. So Cat saying my family is from the Pyrenees, so go conquer it. Well, we have to just follow what it's doing through here. Anyway, that's sort of like, that just shows you a little bit of a snippet as to how the intricate trade system does actually work. In terms of the combat, it wants me to then go into the unit queue, back in through here, and this is actually how we then go and build our forces. And so it wants to add 3 units to the actual queue itself. And so we have like a very basic, like this is essentially what its combat rating would be like, what its movement rating is like. So for example, these are raw early spearmen. If I go to the early spearmen, these have got a little bit better of a combat efficiency, so they're a bit better than the raw spearmen. They cost a lot more though. So these ones here you can see 125. So money cost increase with each active unit of this type. So I'm probably better off if I just want to get like chaff units, I could just go to this one here, which doesn't actually really cost me a hell of a lot. This one here does cost me a fair bit. I've got the plus 21 though. So ultimately it doesn't cost a hell of a lot to then keep it there. We've got the Toledan mercenary spearmen, which costs a hell of a lot of money. So this one is mainly money, but doesn't cost me anything in terms of equipment or minerals or anything like that, or manpower, because these are mercenaries. Slingers back into here are very, very cheap. These are your support units. Then you've got for example, just your mounted sergeants. These are sort of like light cavalry. Then got the early knights, which have got a fairly good attack. Back and through here as well, and then we actually have the knights and sergeants, which are our heavies. So if we go and right click on that one, it'll then add it to the list. Let's go and throw one of those in, one more slinger, and we'll just get a raw spearman. There we go. So we're going to get basically all of those in just a couple of turns. So they're going to be then produced at Toledo. So that's all fine. Right, so what do we need to now to select and then move your army to Tudela, 2 regions northeast of Toledo. Okay, so we'll just go across and do that. This is actually to do a combat, so we're going to Tudela back up in through here. Just close that one down. And so we just right click, and what it's doing here is it's going to say just cancel the movement, because it's now going back up through here, and it's just going to go through why this is actually costing movement points. If I just go back and right click, it's then sort of saying to find out why it went that way and not through here. If I press the movement overlay, it will then show me how much movement there is to go through. For example, this is mountainous, whereas back over through here is just hills. And then we're going back into mountains back over here. So there's a 6 there, there's a 6 there as well, and there's a 3 there. So to move across from this location, which is essentially also a hill area, I still can't get from there to there in one turn. So I might as well just go from into there. And so what it's saying to do is to move to there, then to move to there. So you can just do 2 right clicks and tell it exactly how you want it to go. It doesn't really matter whichever way. It's just explaining how that one does work. End the turn, let's just do that. Processes the next turn. You can see there different people are getting different tokens back and through here as well. Campaigning and logistics. Okay, so select your army by clicking on it. Delve deeper into the details. So we just go back and click on the army, and so it just goes through essentially like the food usage. The food that then comes available food is 39 in this particular location. So it's been pillaged though, this particular location. That location has got available food of 60 and is generating 14. So this one here, we had to pillage as we went through, I think. That's sort of what it's telling us is what's actually happened through there. So without going through in a lot of detail, please click on the region proper in Toledo. Okay, so it's only weakly defended. So there's hardly any defense back in through there. Again, we can sort of see the in this location, General D. Passan watched passively as the soldiers set ablaze important buildings, including a craftsman burrow. So we did essentially lose a craftsman's burrow in this location because of the leader. Actually, I should show that. If we go, please click on the small mosque. Hang on, we have to just have a quick look at this one through here. This is now explaining religion, which I won't go through into too much detail. Click on the religion panel, located in the top bar, which is here. It then goes through essentially that way that the religion works in the game, which is quite complex. Different councils, different areas. Different groups can then sort of set up different sorts of crusades or jihads or whatever else it might actually be. This is the extent really, and even a bit more of the actual main game when we do get it. Like it's got all of these other locations which we don't get to play in this particular version that I'm playing at the moment. Click on the nation panel at the top bar or press N. So this is this one in through here. This is quite interesting. This is actually where all of the detail is in the actual game itself. And so one thing we were looking at before was like we're part of a stable minor Reno, which essentially is like a duchy, I think. Can I move that one off? No, I can't. I'll just move that one down. So if we can get the 5 points, we then go from a stable minor Reno to an ascending minor Reno, and we get a little bit of extra sort of stuff coming through. Now, the stuff that we see here, like Reconquista, like these sorts of things, El Cid, these are all unique to our particular location. Sometimes there's going to be other things like ascending. So we end up with other bonuses when we go into these different areas. But what's really cool about this is we can also go backwards. And so if we, and we're not selecting it by doing it through here. This is just, the ledge is really cool as well. I won't go and open that one up, but there's, actually I will just sort of very quickly sort of show, there's heaps and heaps of information in through here about pretty much everything that you could possibly want to know, like, you know, your regions with the trade goods, regions with the military, what they can build, everything is actually in here. It's very, very well done. Let's just go back into the nation again. Just go into this one in through here. So if we start to collapse, we can go to an unstable minor Reno, and then we end up going to from an unstable to a fragmented minor Reno back in through here. We're now breaking up, and then we end up with a we then reduce the size and go and become a stable grand candado, which I'm not sure what that actually is. And then it can also sort of go back through as well. If we just ditch that again and just go back in and have another quick look. So we are a stable minor. We can also go forward as well. But what's interesting, we can go forward to an ascending. If we then drop back, we don't go back to the stable that we were. We drop back to an unstable, and then we can go back through the same unstable list. So this is not a sliding scale that you move across. If we go into a young Reno back and through there, this one then goes back this way, but with civil war. So regions with less than 75 loyalty may revolt against your government. So there's different sorts of things as you progress. You have to be very careful to manage this progression. You don't want to be progressing too much. If we go to the stable Reno, we end up going from a stable Reno to an unstable Reno. So this one then sets it back in turmoil. So again, it's not a continuum that you're sliding across. So it's just rain. I think it's a duchy. I think that's what it actually is. I think this is a duchy, and if you go back to level 1, I think it's like a count. I think that's sort of how it works. You can then ascend this one as well. We're still only at level 2. And then we go into, and from there, we end up getting, from the ascending Reno, we end up getting into the young monarchy. And so this one then takes us into tier 3. And so from there we can go to a stable monarchy. Stable monarchy will then go to an unstable if it goes backwards, or to an ascending monarchy. And then the ascending monarchy will eventually go into a young unruly empire. So there's a heap of progression. So you've got Mediterranean commerce. You've got all sorts of. So you can see that the Reconquista at this stage has now gone at this point in time. If we actually reach this particular level, so these don't happen very quickly. Like as we sort of keep on going back through, got an ascending empire. That's the most we can get, and then go back to an unstable. Then we can go back to a stable, and that's pretty much. That's pretty much where we end up. So it's sort of, but again, it's such a great system. And it was done very, very well in empires, but it was being fleshed out in empires. And so in this case, it really is, it's just such a nice mechanic just of the way that progression works. It's not linear. And, so once you sort of hit certain levels, there'll be other things you can then go back to that you didn't have before. It's very, very interesting the way it does work. And I forget what we're supposed to be doing here. We also then actually, I think it wants us to go and click on our portrait. This is your authority and disorder. So the authority is what we get to spend. The legacy is what we end up getting to win the game. So legacy is our actually ability. The leader, if we go and click on the leader, this is the royal family. So we then actually have, and this I couldn't figure this one out. I think there's a bug here. He's 67 years old. This is Rey Alfonso the Brave. He's got a 3-year-old son, and now that's sort of okay. So he had the son when he was 64, but he's then got he's got a brother who's 18. He's got a sister who's 25, another brother who's 24. So. His mum and dad were very active, not inactive for an extremely long period. He's got a 23-year-old brother there. 20. This is just a noble. So these others are just nobles in the area. But this is again, this has got a lot of the sorts of things that you would expect from Crusader Kings with this type of arrangement back and through here. It is different to Crusader Kings. It's not as polished in the terms of the way it sort of shows it, but it really does do a good job of getting the, I guess the cut and thrust of what does go on. I'd love to see a Game of Thrones mod for the game at some point, but I don't know if it'll ever come. But this is sort of like your Crusader Kings aspect of the game, where the game for me, like, it's sort of funny. You've got like your Europa Universalis as another one of the Paradox sort of titles that this one will be sort of compared to, I guess, to a large degree. Although Europa Universalis is more in the in the era after this one. But if you're sort of thinking in terms of the medieval aspect, I forget what the medieval version is. My mind's gone blank there. But in this case, the combat can be a lot better. It's a different game. It's sort of hard to compare the two different games. But this one does set up your dynasty essentially with what you actually end up having back and through here. And these have all got their own like loyalties, their different benefits that they actually then bring as well. So it's not as detailed as Crusader Kings in that sort of sense, but it's still very, very good with what it does do. So that's the now we just need to end our turn again. So we're going to be going in now and doing an attack. All right. So this one here, for example, is a stable Tafer and has now got 2 of the aging tokens that have come back through, so it's not progressing. This one can then dissolve backwards. Crusader Kings, yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, Chris, I guess it is. But this one does ultimately do better with the military side of things and also the trading side of things as well. I like Crusader Kings 3, I've got to say. I do like the Crusader Kings games. Didn't play enough of it, to be honest. So we're still just middling around in this particular area through here. Anyway, if we just go and click on OK, it says the battle is about to begin. Now we're halfway through the turn. It's a WeGo system. They've come out of where they actually are. Before uttering Santiago y Sierra España, St. James and Stroke for Spain, please click on the region of Tilda. So we'll just go and click on this region. And so this one then goes through, hover over the terrain icon, which is this one over through here. And so this then tells you how the combat in the game works, which is actually fairly cool the way it actually does, the way it does function. Now this is exactly the same as what happened in Empire. So if you've played Empires, you'll know what's going on here. So terrain does a few different things in combat. What it does do is, you can see when I'm hovering over that one, it's got the movement cost of 6. We've seen that one in action before. It's got a terrain defense of 2, so any defender gets an extra +2 to their defensive rolls. And it's only got a frontage of 6, which means that it's very, very small to sort of see to see what's actually going on through there. So let's just go and end the turn, and we'll watch the actual combat. Right, so when battle occurs, it's then just going through how you can then go and do your exporting of the battles and so on and so forth. Now there is also, it does talk about the different types of battles. But now this feature only supports open field battles. Assaults on castles and sea battles are not available. Additionally, this option is limited to single player mode. I think that's the export battle, but I did notice that also the sieges don't really work all that well in the tutorial. So they function, but you don't get to see the actual battle itself. I'll go through this system, but we could export this one out. I don't know if it will allow us to do it, but this one allows us to then play the battle out in Field of Glory 2 Medieval, which can take, so every battle that you export out, if you do play it in Field of Glory 2 Medieval, and you don't need any of the DLCs, you just need the base game, but if you do export it out, expect that the battles will last about, somewhere between half an hour to an hour to play out. So it is actually one of those sorts of things where They're fun to play, and I tend to do them with the important battles. But for just the run-of-the-mill battles, the system that they have inside the game is actually very, very good. Let's just go into view battle. I'll just go and move that one off to the side. I think if I just keep on playing, it'll be okay. So there's our frontage of 6 because we're in the mountains. It's showing us through there. The terrain defense is 2, and so there's only 2 units defending, but they do get a 2 defense back and through here. If I just go and click start the battle, the first is we've got like ranged units. So back and through here, we've got our slingers across the front. We do have a peasant militia back and through there who's not involved. You can see that they're highlighted in yellow. These are light javelin men. And so these are skirmishers, and they do also then get to fire at different units. Now, our guys are just splitting up between who's going to be firing at these 2 different groups of javelin men. They're going to be firing back at these 2 raw early spearmen and raw early spearmen back in through there. And so if we just go and click on play, now they took a bit of a beating to their readiness or to their effectiveness. So they lost a little bit of effectiveness with both of those attacks. Our guys were fine. Their effectiveness is still 2, which is fine. When we get into the next phase, you'll see what I mean about. I'll explain how the actual every single unit then works. So we then go into like a duel system where each group will then fight each other across through here. So the first one that we actually then go through is we've got this unit through here, the early raw spearmen, being supported by slingers. And so these 2 are highlighted. So it's this unit here. The support bonus gives it a support bonus of 2. And we can see that back over through here as well. We've got a 6 combat rating. We've got -2 clumsy because they're in the mountains, and they don't fight very well in the mountains. But they've got the +2. So that sort of cancels that one out. And so its basic combat rating is 6. If it didn't have the support, it would only have a combat rating of 4. And so this then gets added into the 6 that we sort of see in through here. This is actually the starting point. Then we actually have a combat rating of 3 back through there, plus the +2 because it's in the mountains, giving it 5. And so it starts off with a base of 5 there. Then what happens is we then actually have a number of different of die rolls, and depending on the skill of your leader. And so in this case, we end up having 1 roll each anyway, and then this guy, because he's got an attacking rating of 2, he gets another 2 die rolls in through here. And so we end up with 3 die rolls. We take whichever is the highest of the die rolls to then be the number that we then use. To go back through it, they have a minimum roll as well. Now this one it's based usually on their effectiveness. And so you can see there that they lost 1 effectiveness because of the ranged attack. They've still got 2 effectiveness and 1 hit point. Our guys haven't lost anything. We only start with 2, but we start off with a lot more hit points. So it's a very simple system. This one here, we've got a 2 minimum roll. So if they roll a 1, that will then re-roll until it's over 1. Our minimum roll is also just a 2. They're fresh with what they've got. And they're also now considered fresh because they've got the 2. So if we do the next one here, when we just go and play it. Now that was a stalemate, but they only had, you notice that with the stalemate, in both instances, each side lost one of its effectiveness and 1 hit point. That was enough to kill that unit off. We still lost 1 and 1 in here as well. So that lost one of the effectiveness, 1 of the hit points, but because it was a stronger unit, it then stays in the fight. And so what actually happened through there was they happened to roll a 5 back in through there, plus the 5 gives them a 10. We rolled very, very poorly. We only got a 2, a 3, and a 4. The 4 was the biggest one, so the 4 gets added to the 6, which gives us a 10 as well. Because it was the same, it ends up being a stalemate. A stalemate is a worse result for everyone than someone winning by 1. And so there's a different rating as you go through. I don't know if this will show you what does go on. Info, battle overview, field battles. I'm not sure if it'll actually go through it. The range, combat, duels. There's a lot of detail in here as well. But there's actually battle results. Yeah, no, that's afterwards. There's but each result has got like a different thing. Now in this case, that was okay for us, but we did actually lose, one in each of these different areas. Just go to the next one. It's the next duel back over through here. Again, it's 5 and 6, so it's the same sort of deal as what we had there before. Just roll again. In this case, we won by 1. Now, see, this is interesting because what actually happened here is that we rolled 6, 7, 8, and they rolled a 9. But now with this one here, we ended up with 6 total rating, 5 total rating. That should have been the same amount, shouldn't it? 9 plus 5 is 14. What happened there? I don't know how they lost an extra 1. That doesn't make sense. So something went wrong there. I'm not sure what happened there. An hour in. I might just put 1 hour in. I'll just put 14 because that doesn't add up for me. The 13 should have been a 14, but in this case, all that happened there was because it was sort of like a close result. It doesn't tell us there anything, does it really? Yeah, we've got everything. Yeah, and there's nothing else that's exposed. But they lost because they're skirmishes. We lost 1 readiness, I think, and so they managed to sort of stay where they were in that particular result. And then the next one, we end up having a unit that comes around the side to flank this one. So this one will now move up, but this one can't do anything much back. And so this is a flanking maneuver from these particular guys, and this one should just wipe it out. Yeah, look at this. Completely wiped it out. So we've got the 16 back and through there, which does add up, and the 7 does add up through there as well. So in that case, we've just come through and then wiped out that particular group. If we then go and click on play, we won the battle. We then end this one through here. We then get a battle report as to what did happen there. So that's just going through. So the actual combat in the game, yes, Aries is saying maybe a floating point problem. Maybe it is. It's unusual. I haven't noticed that before, so I will actually report that one. So in this case, we've got the, it just goes through. What else do you have to do? Let's see what's going to happen. Let's see what we'll do in the next turn. We'll just go and click on it. Okay. Actually, we remove that one. It's still processing the turn. So battles are done at the end of the turn. Okay, so we've got through there, winning battles here, blah, blah, blah. I think that's probably enough just to sort of show, I guess, the basic mechanics of the game without sort of going into too much more detail. This one, then, what it wants us to now go through is to start the process of how wars work and how diplomacy works within wars, things like that, which I won't sort of delve into. But it's going to be a really, really good game. For me, it's a much more polished game than Empires was. Scott's saying could be an interaction with the ranged slingers as support. No, it won't be that because they already actually. I don't think it would be that. Maybe it is, but it's because that actually all of that's exposed. Like everything is sort of shown in the game. There's no hidden numbers or anything like that. Anyway, let's quit out of that one and go on to other games now. So just move this one out of the way. Yeah, music I had turned off as well. It's sort of funny. I turned the music off, but the music's still sort of playing the whole time. The music gets a bit annoying. It's like at this stage anyway. Anyway, that's I don't know why it did what it just did, but that's where we sort of are there. So that is Field of Glory Kingdoms, which is coming in June. I will be doing some content on that one. I'm not sure when I'll get to it, but that will be certainly something that I will actually then go and show. I'll just go back into the little inset area. So. Yeah. Anyway, it's going to be a great little game, and of course, if you've got the basic Field of Glory medieval game, like you can then export those combats out and play them in the tabletop if you want to play that way. Now, I actually really like Field of Glory 2 medieval just as a tabletop type system. So I play a lot more in that than what I should, but I do enjoy it. It's so and it's funny because quite often the results will be very similar. with what actually happens. The way it has been working with that one, and I haven't played too much of taking them out when I've been beta testing, it's usually doubles whatever the number of units that you actually had in your army will enter to be double. I don't think we can. I don't think we can actually. Or maybe I'll see if I can show it. It's a clunky system, I've got to say. I wish it would just play in the game, but it doesn't. If we go and load in turn 4, that's the most recent one, I think. If we go and load that one in, to see if this one's got the got that combat, so I can just at least sort of show you how that system works. Yeah, so we're moving in there now, so let's just end the turn. Battle's about to begin, so click on the region, yep, so we'll just go back to there. So yeah, we just picked up where we were, so we'll just end the turn again. So now we're going to do the combat. I hope that this will work. So it then exports the battle, apparently. It's not working. No, it's not going to do it. It's not going to do it for us. Okay, so it's been turned off for the tutorial. Oh, that's okay. Anyway, we'll leave it out there. But this is, as I say before, this is a cut-down version of what the final game will end up being. But it's, I think it's going to be a great little game. It's probably going to be very nuanced again. Look, it won't be popular, unfortunately. Let's talk about Manor Lords, I guess, while we're sort of talking about these sort of medieval type games. Manor Lords, as was mentioned earlier, I mean, Battle Mode mentioned it way at the top there, is a game that has come out now into early access. Incredible reception. And it's sort of one of these things, I might just show you the actual reception that received, because it is astounding, actually, the reception that it got. And is it really worth it? And the answer is a resounding yes, it is. Like, look at the numbers. This is unbelievable numbers for a game like this. 89% is the rating, but look at the number of reviews. 15,000 reviews. They had like 2 million wish lists, which for a city builder is, and that's really what it is. It's not a total war game. It's not a like, and they had to actually put out a special. There's a special note about it, actually. So I'll do it from in here, where I can sort of, or at least it looks a bit bigger. If we just go back out again. So Manor Lords. Again, Australian dollars, so don't worry about those so much. It's a game that's just really captured everyone's imagination. So Battle Mode saying it's a highly polished game for early access. Polish as you go, says John Romero, and he was right. Yeah, it's incredible. Like, and it's largely just the work of one developer, which is just like, this is a mind-blowing result. As something that's only really just come out in the last few days. It's just incredible, absolutely incredible. So, and I was trying to think. I was thinking, why has it actually done so well when there's other games that are really quite similar that don't do anywhere near as well? And I think it's the extra little mechanics that they've put into it. Just extend it that little bit extra beyond what you get from a lot of city builders. And I'm thinking probably the closest type of game to this one is actually the Anno games to a large degree, but they're not as focused on the actual city building. So, and there's been other city builders that have come along in the over the last few years as well, which have got pretty interesting mechanics. There's actually a I don't know if it'll show up in the list of games that are similar. Where is it? Where's the similar, more like this? Yeah, I wouldn't say that's really much like it. Songs of Six. I mean, you look at this. This one's an absolute classic game. Again, the Songs of Six has been around for a long time. Look at the number of reviews. It's overwhelmingly positive with 4,000 reviews. That's this one's got 4 times that number in like 3 days. It's just crazy. It's crazy the way it sort of does work. Rimworld as well. I mean, it's got heaps, of course. That's an exceptional game. Pioneers of Pagonia, again, like 2,600 reviews from 6 months ago. This one here is this similar? Is this similar? And I think I've got this one, but I don't know if I've played it. Yeah, from the creators of Settlers. This is a game I was interested in. This is so similar to it. Like, this game is actually so similar to it, and it's got like very positive, so 84% back and through here, mostly positive. This one has got the same sort of deal, like where you've actually got where you do actually have basic combat, because all you've really got in Manor Lords is basic combat. I don't want to put Manor Lords down in any sense. It's just one of these exceptional games that have come along at exactly the right time, and has just inspired people like to grab it. The fact that it's not in the 90s is actually interesting as well. I'm actually wondering if people are hitting the game and then realizing it's not Total War. I know that there was actually if I go back to the news area, if I go to the community hub, it's a very relaxing game to play. If I just go back into news, pretty sure that will then sort of show it. It's not showing it there. Yeah, 2 million wish lists. Yeah, this was interesting. This was actually like where he actually, I think this is the one. Oh, maybe it's not actually. Yeah, it's just going like. This is from Hooded Horse, just going through it. He's going to be an early access game. So there's still a lot of work to be done, which is great. Like, it's fine with that one. The release news in here, maybe this is it. Launch. He does go through and says it's not Total War. It's not all these other types of genres. It is basically a what it is. Yeah, that's not it either. I can't see where it actually is. Maybe it's not in the news areas. Just go back to Community Hub again. Could it be under discussions potentially? But it's just amazing. What an amazing success story this is. This is just incredible. Like it's and so it really does. For me, it comes down, and I've been looking at different videos and that online as well from different people who have been talking about it, and what they say isn't compelling for the actual results that it actually does give. Sorry, that's where we are there. But it's but what makes it so good, I think, is just the extension of the mechanics. Maybe I'll open that one up as well, because this is one that I have been meaning to do some content on. What I think it is it's a bit more organic, but it's not dramatically different from these other ones. If you do it more like Caesar, yeah, it is like Caesar. It's like a game like Caesar. So it's a passion project, and even though it's been 7 years, it still needs more time to be fully complete. Yes, this is Greg, the actual developer. Let's go continue. Let's go to new game. Like it's like you don't have a real lot of choice into what you do through here. You've got your various portraits, and that's all you actually have. So it's not as if it's a mind-blowing sort of system with just getting into the actual game itself. I'll just go into the middle version. You've only got 3 versions at this stage, plus only 1 map that you can play on. So there's not a hell of a lot you can actually sort of do in the game either. So it's sort of funny because for an early access game, the actual starting aspect is quite limited, which is, again, it's fine for what it is. It's just interesting. And I really wasn't expecting it to be anywhere near as popular as what it was. It sort of has really surprised me. But I'm saying you'll see the reason why people are liking it. And Hooded Horse, for a city builder, it's incredibly well designed and tight as hell. It is very, very good. And when you come into it, it's just got the different sorts of you got different groups. I did cover it a couple of weeks ago before the launch, but it does actually have an aspect. It's not based on individual people, or it sort of is. Like we've got, for example, a total of 10 population. We've got 5 families and 10 workers essentially. So you can see through there we've got 10 males and 2 females in the actual group. And this is what I think what makes the game, one of the aspects that makes it so interesting. Like if we go in and sort of just start, if we have a look and see, these minerals do chop and change, like these resources chop and change around the place. So there's a rich deposit there of wild animals. And this is where I think the game becomes quite interesting. We also then have a rich stone deposit through there as well. And so these 2 locations could certainly be made use of. One of the other interesting things about the game that I think is, I've been trying to analyse why it is so popular, and I think a lot of it is to do with the fact that you can actually sort of take it into different directions fairly strongly. This is this, like in through here, for example, like you only get to choose like a handful of these ultimately as you start to sort of, so you do need to specialize your cities into different areas. And so this is quite interesting as well once you actually do sort of start the process of developing the city up itself. And so, for example, it may be that trade logistics might be important, or whatever else it might actually be, ultimately as we go and start to do different things. It's not as if you unlock all of them. You only really unlock a few of them. Actually, Dave Flitt's saying a few words from the devs before the launch into early access as a description of what the game is not. Yeah, and it was good that he did that, actually, because I don't think they wanted to, put up expectations about the game being a combat game, because it does have combat elements, but they're very rudimentary in comparison to even Total War. Policies back and through here as well. So you have like limited things you can sort of do in it, but the limitations are what I think is one of the things that makes it so interesting. Then we've got the stone deposits in through there. So it's a game also where the resources you need to just be aware of where your water is for any sort of if you're going to be building different sorts of things. Your fertility, like there's a lot of fertility back over through here near where the hunting grounds are, for example. Flax is also good in and around where the stone deposits are. Barley, fertility, a little bit okay back over through there, but nothing great. It's quite good back over through there. So there's a lot to like, and this then chops and changes as you play the game as well. So it does, these things do change. Actually, there's rye. Rye again looks like farming is going to be on this hill. So just knowing where things actually are going to be best. We're probably not in the best position, although we do have berries right there. So we've got berry deposits in the forest. So if we were going to be starting here, at least you do have to think through how you're going to play the game. So it's not like Caesar or those sort of games where you play on a set map and then you just have to play the way that you play. There is a bit of nuance with what actually does go on with these overlays. If we just go back into, for example, like the forager hut, we'd be wanting that to be pretty close to where the berries actually are. And so trees uprooted for construction, we'd be uprooting a couple of trees just to get these berries. But that would sort of be where we'd have like a forager that would sort of then just go through. We could sort of set that one up if we wanted to. There's a road network near where that one actually is, back over through there. One thing also I think has really grabbed people's attentions is that everything, it's not just automatic. Like we've got like this guy here has to take that piece of wood across, and these have to walk across to then help build that particular forager's hut. It's very, very immersive, like incredibly immersive. If you go back and just grab a logging camp, that's going to be probably the most important thing that we end up getting, actually. I'll just go and throw that in there. Which may be over this side a little bit. I can just zoom these forward a little bit, just so that the ox is coming back, going to drag more into here, for example. I'll just go back to just normal speed. And so when these are built, you then actually have other choices that you can then go and do. So in this case, with the forager's hut, you don't bring people in, you bring families in, and I think that's also what's sort of interested people with what's like with the game. So if we bring a family in, there'll be one group that will then sort of start to do the foraging, and so they won't be available anywhere else as they come through. I'm not sure if we should be able to then find out more about that particular person, this particular group. So you can see there, there's only the two people. The male looks like we've only got two brothers by the looks of things. Bartholom's and Toman are both sort of going off to gather berries at this point in time. Advanced different things you can then go and do. You can actually sort of limit the work areas as well, which can be really quite cool when you've got something like this, for example. Let's just go and throw in, say, 2 families to work in here to get more logs. You need as many logs as you can possibly get, really. So in this case, we'll just get the two families, go to the people, and so they're all now coming back in as well. So Andres and his wife Margaret are sort of doing things. The male and females do different types of things as well. If we go to advanced, we can actually get livestock to actually then sort of go and add in to help with the hauling if we needed to do that as well. The unlimited work area at the moment, we can actually limit the work area to a region, just so that they actually then start to adjust the size. We then we don't scroll that one. It's Control and scroll. So if we wanted to sort of grab these trees here and sort of move these out of the way, that can be the work area for the actual lumber yard. So it's just a really immersive game in the sense that we've got 2 people there that aren't doing anything. Let's just go and set up some. We don't have to have roads, but if we do roads, actually one thing I did see on one of the videos actually that someone had done, which I thought was a really good idea, was to set up if you know that you're going to have like a major road, this road here is going to end up being a major road. Just go, because the roads don't cost anything. Go back to the roads and just keep on building more roads. Just slightly offset them a little bit, and that way you're going to end up with with bigger areas like that will end up sort of being more. It'll look better as if it's actually a major road, which I thought was a nice idea. The other thing that I think has really grabbed people's attentions is the burrage system, which is essentially how the housing works. If we go back into residential, so we've got these burrage plots back in through here, which is how most of your families then sort of operate. So if we actually operate from, say, here and then move back, when we do it, the first clicks that you have will then set the width. If we go and create like one that's let's say just too wide at this point in time, how much we've got? 5 wood. If we go and do that, as we then come back, it doesn't give you any clues, but if we go back to, say, there and then go across, you can see there that we can get like 2 plots in through there. If we do that one, we only get 1, but we get the potential to then add another house in later on. If we just go and right click and then move this one even further back and then do it, you can see there that we've got 2 slots, but we've got extra areas at the back. And so these can be quite good. If we go and did even something like that, we can ultimately end up with 3 houses in that region. It's still going to cost us, but I'm probably better off just doing something like this where we end up with essentially a large backyard. And so the backyard can then be used for other things, for specialist areas. I've still got 3 there, so I can still grab another one of these. If I go back and just grab another. So these burrage plots have got, once these are all built, are ultimately then going to have areas out the back that they can then use as communal gardens and things like this, which will then help with the food supply. So we've got all these different aspects about the game. Again, it's got I think it's the flavour that the game brings. So Aries is saying, I was very close to buying it until I learned about the combat. I knew combat wasn't amazing in the original, but at least it existed. It does have combat. But it's not like, if you're looking for Total War, it's not a Total War game. But see how they're slowly sort of pushing through now and getting they're essentially denuding the forest from in the area that we had presented, which means that we can then ultimately end up with more burrage plots coming off the other side if we wanted to. I'll just let that one go. There should be. She's not working. He's coming into work. Oh, here we go. So they're now setting this one up. But it's just so immersive. It's such a relaxing game. It's not a It's not a difficult game at all. The combat it's sort of semi-detailed. It's not as it's not a focus of the game, which I think is fair. But I do like that little tip about getting these roads as you sort of come back through. It's really quite nice. And of course you can then actually bring in the visit mode. This is very glitchy, but this is I quite like this as well. Although it's not the same guy. Where's he going to end up? Here he is. Whoops. There they are. Run across. And just watch them as they start to build this first. So there's only one group that are actually building the houses at this stage.
Pass me the hammer, will you?
But this level of detail in this aspect as well is phenomenal.
Don't forget to brace the frame of the door. We don't want it to sag.
He's telling his wife to brace the frame of the door. That's very clever. That's very good. What are you doing? Are you doing the next one now?
Come on.
It's a bit shitty. A bit grumpy. He's putting the floors in. But this aspect is I think it's the relaxation side that really makes this one really quite cool. Cat's saying we're talking about the we're talking about the Pharaoh remake. Oh, sorry, did I miss I missed something there. Had to refund Pharaoh. Oh, okay, I'm with you. Yeah, these sort of I think that yes. Okay, sorry, I'm completely missing things. Here we go. So this Burridge plot is almost done. So a bit of a look out the back. And so, yeah, so they're now putting in the fence line automatically, magically. And so we now actually have a backyard that can be used for other things. I think we can just walk straight through here. Oh, no, we can't. Can we jump? No, we can't even jump. Anyway, let's just have a bit of a look and see. So we've got the so when we actually look at the Burridge plot back in through here, we can then we've got there's so much you can do in this game. So what can we do at the back there? General, residential, construct a backyard extension. So is that doing stuff? Looks like it's missing something, doesn't it? Anyway, yeah. Anyway, it's cool. It's a very cool game with what's actually happened. But like I'm just surprised at how popular it is. It's a great game, but yeah, I'm blown away just by like even if we look at the Anno games, if we just quit out of this and have a bit of a look at the Anno games, that would be interesting to sort of see how they even perform. In fact, if we have a look at the Steam charts, if we have a look at who's playing it, is it in the top section? One thing I thought was funny actually is the fact that we've got there's Mandalords, yeah. So it's actually got a lot of people playing it. Number 7. That's very cool for a game like this. Very cool. But Fallout 4 has come back as well, and this has got to be from the TV show. What a great show that is! I finished watching it during last week, and it was so good. The TV show is so well done. So I'm not surprised that people are playing this again. I don't know if I'm assuming that will have. If I just go back in and I'll just open that one up actually and have a bit of a look and see. Actually, where is it? If we just go to charts. Hang on, we should be able to. Let's go to Fallout 4. I haven't done the charts for a little while. Drag this one back a little. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Isn't that incredible? That's the impact of the TV show. Bang. off she goes, and getting more and more popular as well. So yeah, 170 odd thousand from 20,000. That was still a lot of people playing it, to be honest, up until the TV show hit. Wow, that's actually fairly interesting. Okay, let's have a look at Manor Lords. Manor Lords, there we are. And if we have a look at where's the charts? Sorry, I hardly ever look at this, and it's sort of one of these things where if I go back into there, Steam charts, and just pull that one back. Oops, that is the start actually. So it's been popular right from the very, very start, from launch day on, really, which was only a few days ago. It's an unbelievable launch. I'm really, really happy for the devs and also for Hooded Horse with such a massive success when we do it. If we compare with others, if we go and compare with, which one should we compare it to? Probably should compare it to, what was the most recent of those? It was set in the 1800s. The city builders. I do actually have it on here somewhere. The Anno games. I'll just type in Anno and just see what we end up with getting. Anno 1800. There we are. So yeah, all-time peak 25,000. So even Anno 1800 didn't actually do anywhere near as well. Which, again, is sort of surprising, really, if we have a look at this one. Like, you know, you look at the actual the charts for both of these. Yeah, that's the Anno one. Yeah, it's surprising. It's surprising, the result. It's an incredible result, really, when you do look at that one. Anyway, we won't worry about that one so much anymore. Yeah, Bannerman was saying just play Fallout 1 or 2 or Underrail or something. Yeah, Fallout 4 was really weird. I didn't mind Fallout 4. I think that's the one I played. I'm pretty sure that's one I've got. I may not have it in on Steam, though. I'll have a look and see. Pretty sure that's the only one I do actually have on Steam. No, I don't even have that. Don't have any of the Fallout games in my Steam library. I wouldn't have reinstalled it. Pretty sure that was the one I had, though. Yeah, no, I don't have it installed. So anyway, that's I won't go through much more with. Look, I will be doing some Manor Lords video content at some point. Although there's just so much out there. It's such a massive game. It's just incredible, really. So how well did Medieval Dynasty do? I don't even know what Medieval Dynasty is. Let's have a look and see. Just go across into my games bookmarks. Medieval Dynasty. What's that? I don't know what the game is. Medieval Dynasty. Yeah, 30 all-time peak 31,000. It's better than. Yeah, it's got the same sort of rating as Manor Lords. When did that one come out? Looks like fairly old by the looks of things. Yeah, still nowhere near to where this one was. You had a lot of players there back in December. But it does rate pretty well. Can't survive, build and lead in the harsh Middle Ages. Yeah, I don't know much about this game at all, actually. So, still saying their elements in Fallout 4 are like better than New Vegas, but New Vegas is better with storytelling and world building, generally the holistic feel. Actually, I think that the coming this series 2, I think, is going to be set around New Vegas, I believe. There was some. I shouldn't talk much about it if you guys haven't seen it, but I think there was some Easter eggs at the back end of that were sort of showing that was sort of the direction that they were going to then be moving with what they were doing. I can't remember the specifics of it, but that is a TV show really, really worth watching. It's incredibly good, even if you don't know the Fallout game. It's still a great series. One of the most entertaining series I've seen in a long time. Anyway, let's continue on. Let's just go back into the list, I guess. Well, let's just go through the Steam. I've got to get going fairly soon, so we'll sort of we'll start to wind things up a little bit. All right, so what have we got? So I'll just go through the what's new stuff coming. So Field of Glory Kingdoms will be released this June. So we then have the information coming through this other side. There is a date, but I forget what the date actually is. Does it tell us in here? I thought it was like, finding the right balance. This shows you one of the combats that are more out in the open, in a forest area. This is actually a lot of information. Again, the information in the game. It's an incredible game. It's an incredible game. I really hope this one does well. I mean, it won't do as well as Manor Lords, obviously, but it is one of these games that, unfortunately, because of the perceived complexity of these sorts of games, they don't attract a really massive audience. But these are, like, Empires was exceptional, and I think Kingdoms will be well beyond that. It really is an amazingly good game. Anyway, that's Field of Glory Kingdoms. It's not saying what the actual date is, so I won't say what I've been told. I'll just let that one slide. Dwarf Fortress, apologies for 2 updates in 2 days, but important things are afoot. So we've got different types of portraits. The portraits I'm not even concerned with. It's just that the actual the adventure mode is just boring at the moment. There's really there's too much to flesh out, like all of the crafting and stuff like that. So for me, it's still just to sit back and wait and wait for things to actually happen a little bit with this one. So it's a waiting game, but it's great to see the portraits, but it's not something that I'm really all that interested in. Now this is a dev journal that's just come out for Gal Civ, talking about the ship classes. I will be, as I said before, doing another live stream in a couple of days' time, maybe 3 days' time, I think, and we'll sort of continue on where we were with the Space Cat girls, and just continue on with that particular series. And I won't get that one finished, so I may do another YouTube live stream again at the end of the week, and then then take it to Twitch if there's still stuff to finish off. There's a few people that have been asking for me to finish off some of these games rather than just leave them hanging. So we will play that one through to the final bits. This is just going through the different classes again. So that may have been written by Battle Mode. The way you can tell if Battle Mode's written anything at all, actually, is it'll be full of spelling mistakes. No, I'm only joking. Is this one of yours, though, Battle Mode? Sorry, I couldn't resist. I couldn't resist just getting a ribbing in there. But there's so much good information out there at the moment for Gal Civ 4. And Battle Mode's been really front and centre in so much of that. So, like it really is. Yeah, I write their dev journals. There we go. There we go. So, excluding more abstract notions of war, and which is actually really cool. It's nice to have, I think, someone on our side of the fence largely helping to get the information out. You know what I mean? Like, it's sort of one of those things where we end up with like when someone like Battle Mode is actually sort of so heavily involved in actually producing this sort of information for us. He's seeing it through the eyes of the end user more so than the eyes of the developer, which is great. So anyway, I will give you a big call out there, Battle Mode. I was only joking about the spelling mistakes and so on and so forth. But because it's saying I played through Fallout 1 and 2 Tactics dozens of times, but I disliked 3. I didn't bother with 4 or 76, so I installed New Vegas this weekend. Though I liked Metro 2033 more than Fallout 3. Yeah, but actually a lot of people say Metro is, and I haven't played it, but a lot of people have recommended that game a lot. So, sort of saying that's not true. It could be me who had written it if it was full of spelling mistakes. Yeah, no, I was only joking about that. I was only joking. Cat saying waiting for the new Command and Conquer. Also one day maybe. I'm not sure about that one. Anyway, this Gal Civ, really an exceptional game. I'm thoroughly enjoying the nuance that Warlords does bring to the game. I'm finding a lot of little bugs with it though, like that will be corrected. And that was actually one of the things that people were commenting on when I was live streaming it, was that they were surprised that there were things that had been sort of missed or whatever it might be. But we're sort of like, we're not playing an early access version of the game as such, but I know it's going to be fixed. You know it's going to be addressed. So it's actually really is. It really sort of does work well in that sort of sense. And so it's sort of, for me, it's it's not as if it's not like what is it, Warlock, the Warlock games. Like where you knew that they weren't going to get fixed when they were being developed. When there was bugs that were in there, you thought, well, we're stuck with those. Whereas with any of the Stardock games, if there is something that's that needs to be addressed, it will be addressed and addressed quickly, and which is good. And the development is just so rapid. Like they've done so much in 12 months, or it maybe says 18 months now, I guess, since the game first came out. Back in the Epic Game Store, like when you look at what Gal Civ was back then to what it is now, it's so different. It's a different game. It really is a different game. Anyway, there's a whole heap of information there about all the different ship classes, which are interesting with the different doctrines. So I won't go through that in detail, but as I said, I will be doing a live stream on that one in just a few days' time, so 3 days' time from now, here on YouTube. What else do we have? Stellaris is always up there. Adventure mode, some more adventure mode fixes. Again, until we end up getting crafting and stuff, your functionality, right-click menu, it's not big enough for me to really go back and bother playing at this stage. It's interesting, but nothing much else than that one. Operation Border Marking, your political map overlay. Okay, this is for... I haven't played this for so long. Hex of Steel. Counter-Strike 2, there it is. It's still so popular, isn't it? It's such a popular game. Besiege, that's interesting as well. Thousand Tactics, Spacecraft, Sons of Valhalla, stable release of DF Hack, that's always good. There's the release news of Manor Lords, we've covered that one. Changelog for the 2.5 version, which is a lot in just the version for the base game, as well as the Warlords DLC. Guided tour of Warlords back and through there as well. So a lot of stuff there for Warlords, and that's the end of all of that. Adventure mode, more beta info. What's coming next? What is next? Character generation, visit your old forts. I think we might have read this one last week. Yeah, there's a lot to be added in, to be honest. There's an awful lot to be done with the adventure mode, so we'll wait for that one in through there. Okay, so we are running out of time, and we don't actually have a giveaway today, but we will still, of course, play the marble run. So how should we do that one? Just let me think about this one. So Eddie Ballgame saying, Daz, ever check out The Last Spell? No, I don't know that one, actually. I don't know that one. Got a bit of time. Let's have a look and see. The Last Spell. Very positive. Looks interesting. Defend the last bastion of humanity with your squad of heroes. Exterminate finished monsters with magic and brute force. 86%, 91%. That's pretty good. I don't know this one. Is it... looks like it doesn't have random maps, but maybe it does. Actually, that looks pretty cool, actually. I might jot that down on my list of things. Anyway, let's get the we'll just go across into Nightbot, and we'll log in. Okay, so because saying your mention of Warlock reminds me that Songs of Conquest devs announced that they're exiting early access on May 24. Yes, it's coming up very, very soon, and they're going to have a lot more random map content as well before that time. So that's going to be something also worth having a look at. There's a lot of good stuff coming up in May. There's a lot of stuff I can't talk about yet as well that's coming up in May. So yeah, there'll be a lot of stuff going on, which is good. Just go to giveaways, keyword. Put the word marble in. So if you can just type the word marble, I can then put you into the name list. I don't have anything else in there. I'll just go and grab the list, the Sublime Text list. Get rid of that one through there. So just marble in the chat will then get you into the actual list. I might as well put myself in here as well. So we'll start off that way. So okay, so Sean is saying that Last Spell is great but doesn't work with the Steam Deck. Oh, okay. All right, well, the title of this stream is giveaways and more. So the giveaway is that you feel good. You have bragging rights. That's the giveaway. I know. I didn't. I forgot to edit that one out. But anyway, there's no giveaway today. Sorry, guys. Yeah, the more is that the giveaway is not a giveaway as such. It's just a feel good giveaway. I should change that actually. That's false advertising. I don't know if I can do it while I'm streaming. No giveaways. There we go. Fixed. We fixed that one up, so that's all good. All right, let's get the marbles out. Marbles on stream. Actually, yeah, thanks for letting me know. Actually, because that is false advertising, and I could get into trouble for that. Battle mode. Don't get any ideas about reporting me. Zedek Simmons, I feel awesome beating everyone. There we go. Just updated again just a couple of days ago. Just going to continue. Let's go back to Nightbot. How are we going? Is people still actually putting marble in? Yep, got a fair few there. All right, so let's call it here. I think we've got everything in there, so we'll just go and grab them. Control C. And find replace. Okay, 24 players. We'll save that one. It's convoluted having to do it this way for YouTube, but anyway, it's that's all good. We've got 24 in there. There we go. To go back, it's sort of funny. We have to also go back out from there to go into the Grand Prix. We don't have that little thing to be able to then fix it all up. So I'll play with bots, 24 of them. 4 maps, not 16. And autofill, I guess. I don't know what these are. A maximum elimination chance when selecting a map. I think that should be maximum times the map has been played. Time, average time in seconds when selecting a map, and maximum time, average time when selecting a map. So, like, I might turn those off. Let's just see what we end up with. We've got race, we've got laps, we've got community. Yep, that's okay. Let's just autofill it. There we go. The brick. That must be what the percentage chance is in through here. So yeah, there is a chance of things sort of failing and falling off. A 1 hour 20. I hope that's not 1 hour 20. No, it couldn't be. It must be 1 minute 20. That can't be 2 seconds. Hang on. We can't have that. Circuit. Maybe I better not do that. Maybe I better put these back on. Maximum time in seconds. I'll just go back and autofill those. That looks a bit dangerous, doesn't it? Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. It could have been disastrous. That was a 1 hour. It's an hour 20, yeah. All right, so let's just go with this group. All right, so good luck, everyone. Here we go. So we're getting into it. Now we've got... I can't add anyone else in, sorry. We are... so read at me, you're AFK. Sorry, I can't do it. I actually can't put any more in without going all the way back. So you missed it when I'm still putting the names in. I can still do it, but I did miss that that you were there. I did look up just before that. Okay, let's go and play. Come on, game. Here we go. Start. Okay, down we go. Okay, so Chond is the first one down, but coming back up again. On the other side, we've got Gyrox. Chond is the first one into the main section. Oh, here they come. So Gyrox is straight through to the bottom. Here comes Chond, here comes Ulrich. But Chond is, Gyrox is taking the left loop, is moving through. Chond, we've got Original Intent coming there, and Jimster is picking up stuff. Let's have a look and see what actually happens out over this side. He's going to be the first one through, or Gyrox is going to be definitely out through there. Jimster coming through the middle. Chond coming back in through in third, Bubicus coming back through that side. So these are all going to end up back over there somewhere, I think. There we go. Gyrox is at the top, and Jimster is at the top as well. So everyone's now sort of coming back up the top here. Jimster has actually now hit the lead. Has gotten through all of those. This is not going to go well. Whoa! There we go. Gyrox and Banksy are gone. So they're out of here. Let's see what happens to the others. So Original Intent has now hit the lead with CB coming in second. Anyone else going to get smacked? Oh, they're making their way through. They're making their way through. Oh no, there we go. There they all are. They're all up there. They're all up there. There goes Banksy finally. Is that me out in front? I think it is me out in front. Somehow I've made it through, but then I'm gone. Okay, so I'm out of there. Introvert is still working. We've got Mike. Actually, Mike's out in front now by the looks of things. and hasn't won yet. But is this the end? There we go. Mike's the winner. Congratulations, Mike. Then we've got Dave coming in next. We've got Bubicus. Actually, a few of the others just missed out as well. This is a pretty cool map, actually. Hugh David just skimmed through the outside edge, but then missed. Sithel coming through. Then we've got Sorbacol coming as well to get the 10 points at the back end there. Still got a few more. Viren Games coming. I thought Viren Games had fallen off the top there, actually. Nope, still alive. Did you say that Viren Games is going to be 10th? There we are. And there we go. Winner is Mike. Well done, Mike. So that was a good result. Let's just go to the next map. I'm looking at the time. So this is Marble Canyon. Viren Games cost us a few precious seconds. Start the game. 3 laps on this one. Whoa, this is going to be interesting. How's this going to work? Not sure how this one works. Oh, okay, we're in the valley here. Oh, we'll just have a look through as we come through. So we've got Sithel out in front, and Giza Zone up there as well. Let's get the leaders. So we've got Bubicus coming in 4th, Ulrich coming in 3rd, Giza, and then Dave. Cat's just taken 4th spot now. There's the first loop, first turn. Coming back through. Oh, that was a bad one from Bubicus, but everyone's gone up that way. So Dave is still out in front. Ulrich coming in 2nd. Cat coming in 3rd now. Giza Zone 4th. Jimster 5. Banksy 6. Bubicus now has fallen back to 7th. There's more coming through. Okay, Bubicus is now 10th. So long way behind. A long way behind. Okay, we've got Dave's a fair way out in front now. Let's just go to these leaders. Just follow Ulrich, who's coming in 2nd. Oh no, Banksy's now hit 2nd spot. And it's gone up very, very high, but just right behind Dave. This is a pretty good map, actually. There goes Banksy. Banksy's in 2nd there. Can anyone catch up with Dave? I don't think they will. I think Dave's far enough out. There goes Began. Began's taken a low run. I might go back into where Began is, because Began actually had the acceleration, but has now gone too high. We've got to stay down low. Now, will you get a good run through here? Probably not. And there's the leader. That's the finish line there. So Dave has won. Actually, Chond won. Then Dave. Actually, that does not ring true. It's one of these instances where I think that that there was a miscalculation there, because Dave was definitely, Chond wasn't even up there. So not sure what happened there. Let's just continue on. Next map. Taking flight. All right, here we go, here we go. So Aries has now hit the lead here, along with Began with ZXM. Shifty coming back through as well. And Aries still out in front. Shifty now coming in 2nd. Oh, that was a nice little run. But Shifty's actually now hit the lead. CB has now hit the lead, actually. So CB has hit the lead. Michael and the others may have a trouble. No, they're okay. They're okay. Let's see what actually happens in through there. That's dangerous. Then CB is out of there, but Introvert's out of there as well. And Banksy is still active. Sithel is making it through. That was a good finish line through there. So Sissel and Began, or ZXM. So Sissel, first one in. ZXM, Guy Bellaby third. Jimster, Dave, here comes Dave, backing up for Lost Ground in the other one. Veer and Game, Silvercole, then Dave, then Michael. Hugh David's gone. Original Intent coming in ninth. Shifty gets the 10 points for coming in 10th spot, which is good. And we've still got a few people coming down through the rest of it. I don't think we'll lose anyone else at this stage. That was a pretty cool run actually with this particular one. It was nice and fast, but it was good. I'm glad we didn't stick with the 1 hour 20 of it. Dave saying robbed of my win. Yes, you were robbed. If we had a prize, I would be going back to write down the numbers to see what the numbers should have been. So if Chond wins by 20 points, then we have to subtract 20 points from there. All right, so we'll go and get the final result through there. Next map, in we go. Here we go. So the last map, I think. Here we go. So 3 laps. Get started. Off they go. Just following along. So we've got Aries out in front. Mike Gillespie coming in second. Geezer's Own third. Silvercole fourth. Michael Duss in fifth. Actually, here comes Chond to steal it yet again. So this is fairly close at this stage. We've got this is a legitimate win. If Chond wins this one, here comes Michael actually coming in. I'm following Michael's marble at this stage. He's in third spot in behind Aries. Chond has now hit the lead legitimately this time, fully legitimately. And here comes Michael Duss and through this other side as well. We've got Mike Gillespie back on the other side. They're now out in the lead. Here comes Aries, got a bit of a boost along, but Michael's got the inside line here. If he can just get around Mike, the two Mikes, the Michael and Mike. Now Michael has just hit the lead. There he goes. Let's just move back a little bit into the list and see what else is happening. So we've got Chond back in through this other side. We've got Aries that we're looking at through here. I think anyone who can get a nice low run will do fairly well through this corner, but no one really has been able to do that. Sorbicol maybe able to pick up some space. Here comes the last of them. And we've got Michael Duss. We're going into the final lap now. And we've got Original Intent with a bit of a boost, but going off a terrible angle, so he's lost a lot of points there, lost a lot of spaces. Mike Gillespie coming back into trying to go back into the leadership yet again. Got a good run off that top. No, he just got a bit of a bounce. Now Aries is coming in second. Oh no, Mike's still technically in second place there. Michael, and I think Mike has actually got a good run through here. This is going to... Oh no, he's got smashed in behind Michael. The Mike and Michaels. Oh, here he goes. He's actually made it. Mike's now hit the lead. We've got Michael Duss in second. Original Intent has got a good run down through. And it is Mike Gillespie first. Well done. Actually, everyone was very, very compressed in that particular one. Then Michael Duss, I think, came in second there. So that was a good run there. Let's finish the Grand Prix, see who actually won. Because I do have to get going. All right, Geezer's Own came in third. Congratulations, you win nothing. In second was Dave Flute. So and then we have Mike Gillespie there. Did actually legitimately come out in top spot. So let's just go and have a bit of a look and see. So that was 42 points for Mike. Then we had Dave there in 37, Geezer's Own 35, Bibicus 28, Sithel 26, John 26, but we probably have to take... Actually, John did get further in. That one win was the one that was contentious, which is worth 20 points, but John did well in that last one. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, that's we're getting some funny little results with that, which is a strange one. Okay, anyway, congratulations, Mike, on the win. And guys, I do have to get going, so thanks for watching. And we'll be back doing ChatTactic again next week. So yeah, stay tuned, and we'll go through. I don't have any giveaways at this stage, so I'll see what actually comes through. If any devs do give me anything that I can give away, that'd be great. But we'll see what actually happens. So he won the 3rd place and a lot of fun. Yeah, I thought Chond did get. I thought that Chond would have had more points, because I think that Chond did fairly well in a few of the other races. There's something weird with the numbers. Anyway, it's a bit of a worry. Anyway, guys.